Hello everyone and welcome to the Cheat Meal presented by Deep Fried Draft. This is our draft review continuing now with the Houston Texans. The Texans moved up from the 25th spot in the first round all the way up to 12 to get their quarterback of the future, and it may be the quarterback of the now, in Deshaun Watson from Clemson. My only real concern with Watson was his lack of big arm strength. Had one of the lowest velocity readings at the combine, but he's an accurate, mobile passer with nerves of steel, and definitely, I believe, is going to be a quality NFL starter in the future. How long into the future? Probably won't be long, because at this point his main competition with the Texans is Tom Savage, and it's Tom Savage. So, I mean, I don't know how long that's going to hold. But bold move by the Texans, who now do not have a pick in the first two rounds of the draft next year. Those now both belong to the Cleveland Browns. In the second round, pick 57, they acquired Zach Cunningham, a sideline-to-sideline linebacker from Vanderbilt. He's good in coverage. Does miss some open field tackles, but he is there most of the time. In the third round, they picked Texas running back Deontay Foreman, who is a big running back, 6 foot 233. That's down from the 240-ish range. Foreman ran into 4.4 range at his pro day. To this point, I don't know how much he adds to the passing game, but he can definitely be a two-down grinder out running back type who can make some breakaway runs. In the fourth round, they took offensive tackle project Julian Davenport from Bucknell, who is a long-armed, tremendous height, weight offensive tackle prospect, but he has played at the lower level of FCS. I mean, non-scholarship football in the Patriot League. But Davenport is definitely a guy who is not going to be a day one contributor, in my opinion, but he could pay dividends down the road. A guy who could contribute in day one in a rotation on their defensive line is Carlos Watkins from Clemson. Was a good value pick at pick 142 in the fourth round for the Texans. Watkins is a flash player to me. He's, for 60% of the game, you may not even notice he's there, 70% even. But the 30% that you notice him, he is in the backfield making plays. So could end up being good value there. In the fifth round, they took a big, tall corner, long-arm Tristan DeCalde from Oregon State, 6'2", 206. And in the seventh round, they took one of the more athletic interior offensive line prospects in Kyle Fuller from Baylor. Fuller was the only, if I'm correct, the only offensive lineman from a Big 12 conference team drafted. Some notable undrafted players, and the biggest one to me is edge rusher from Washington, Joe Mathis. He was number 104 on my board, but Mathis has some injury issues that are concerning to some teams, and that pushed him out of the draft completely. But if Mathis is healthy, he's making this team and he's contributing on this team. It's a big if, but it is there. Dylan Cole, a very athletic linebacker from Missouri State. I would be shocked if he didn't make this team, at the very least on special teams. So for a total value, the Texans finished 8th on my board, 9th in average value, and in the money picks, the first three rounds, the Texans 11th. So a good quality draft for the Texans, but they sacrifice a lot of draft capital going forward. So they're definitely win at all costs type deal, trying to also get their quarterback of the future going forward. So we'll see how that works out for the Texans. Next up will be the Indianapolis Colts. See you then.